What happens to your memories when the machine that stores them decides you don't own them anymore? You think you're building a legacy. Photos of your children, videos of your wedding, 10 years of emails that prove you were right about something important, letters your grandmother wrote, scans of documents that matter. All of it sitting in a cloud somewhere, waiting for the day you need it. Except the cloud isn't a cloud. It's someone else's computer. And that someone just decided you've been using too much space, or you forgot to pay this month. Or their algorithm flagged something you uploaded in 2008, and now your account is frozen, gone. Not deleted, exactly, just locked behind a door you can no longer open. Your entire digital life, erased with the cold efficiency of a machine that doesn't care whether you cry about it. This isn't a story about technology failing. This is a story about technology working exactly as designed. Because somewhere along the way, we made a deal with the devil and didn't read the fine print. We traded ownership for convenience. We traded permanence for a monthly subscription. And now we're waking up to discover that the things we thought we owned, the memories we thought we saved, belong to someone else. They always did. Let me take you back to a different time. A time when this wasn't possible. 1943. A man named Walter sits in his living room in Philadelphia. The room is small, the furniture worn but clean. On the mantel above the fireplace sits a wooden box. Inside that box are letters. Letters from his brother who's fighting in Italy. Letters from his father who died when Walter was 12. Letters from the woman he married in 1936. If Walter wants to read those letters, he opens the box. He doesn't need permission. He doesn't need an internet connection. He doesn't need to hope that the company storing his letters hasn't changed its terms of service. The letters are his, completely, utterly, permanently his. That wooden box is going to outlive Walter. It's going to outlive his children. 70 years from now, his granddaughter is going to find it in an attic, and she's going to cry when she reads them because she can touch the same paper her grandfather touched. She can see the ink stains where his pen leaked. She can smell the tobacco smoke that soaked into the pages because Walter had a pipe he smoked while he read. Now come forward with me. 2024. A woman named Sarah sits in an apartment in Austin. She's 32 years old. 3 years ago, she uploaded every photo she had to Google Photos. 12,000 images. Her college years. Her father's funeral. Her niece's first birthday. She paid for the storage. $9.99 a month. A small price for peace of mind, right? Except last month, she got an email. Not even a real email. One of those automated messages that feels like it was written by a committee of lawyers who hate human beings. It informed her that due to suspicious activity, her account had been temporarily suspended pending review. When she tried to log in, she hit a wall, a screen that told her to verify her identity. She uploaded her driver's license. She waited. 2 weeks went by, then 4, then 8. She called the support line. She got a robot that couldn't understand her question. She filled out forms. She sent emails that vanished into a void. And her photos? Still there, theoretically, sitting on a server in some data center in Oregon. But she can't see them, can't touch them, can't prove they exist. She has lost 12,000 memories because an algorithm decided she looked suspicious. Do you see the difference? Walter owned his letters. Sarah rents access to her photos, and the landlord just locked her out. This is the world we've built, a world where your memories exist only as long as a corporation allows them to exist, where your documents, your files, your creative work, all of it sits behind a paywall that can go up at any time, where the photos you took belong to you in name only, because the moment you stop paying, the moment the company changes its policy, the moment their AI makes a mistake, you lose everything. But here's the part that should terrify you. It's not just photos. It's not just emails. It's everything. Let's go back further. 1932. The Depression is crushing America like a vice. But even in the depths of that economic nightmare, there were things you could still own. A man loses his job, loses his house, loses his savings. But the books on his shelf, those are his. The records he bought, his. The letters in his drawer, his. The photographs in his album, his. Even poverty couldn't take those away. Ownership, real ownership, meant something. It meant that once you paid for something, it was yours until you decided otherwise. Not until a company decided. Not until a subscription expired. Yours. That world is dead. We killed it slowly, without noticing. It started innocent enough. Music. Do you remember buying CDs? You paid $15, you got a disc, you owned it. You could play it forever. You could lend it to a friend. You could sell it at a garage sale 20 years later. But then came Napster, then iTunes, then Spotify, and suddenly you didn't own music anymore. You rented access to it. $10 a month for the privilege of listening to songs that vanished the moment you stopped paying. We accepted it because it was convenient. Because carrying around a CD case seemed so quaint, so outdated. Then came movies. Netflix arrives in 1997 as a DVD rental service, but by 2007 it's streaming. Blockbuster dies. Those shelves of VHS tapes and DVDs in your living room, they start to look obsolete. Why own movies when you can stream anything, anytime? Except you can't stream anything. You can stream what Netflix decides to keep, what they can afford to license, what their algorithm thinks you want to see. And the movies you loved, the ones you watched 50 times as a kid, they rotate off the platform, they disappear, and you have no recourse. You don't own them. You never did. Books followed. Kindle launches in 2007. Suddenly, you're not buying books. You're buying licenses to read books. Amazon owns the file. They can delete it from your device remotely. They've done it. In 2009, they remotely deleted copies of 1984 from customer devices because of a rights dispute. The irony was so thick, you could choke on it. People woke up to find that the book about totalitarian control of information had been memory holed by the company selling it to them, and there was nothing anyone could do about it. Now it's everything. Your documents live in Google Drive. Your photos live in iCloud. Your emails live on Gmail servers. Your work, your art, your writing, all of it exists in the cloud. That beautiful, innocent word that makes it sound like your data is floating in some ethereal heaven, safe and pure. It's not. It's in a warehouse. A warehouse owned by a company that has terms of service longer than the Bible. Terms you never read. Terms that change every 6 months. Terms that give them the right to do almost anything they want with your data, including lock you out, including delete it, including scan it for violations of policies you don't understand. You don't own anything anymore. You rent the right to access things, and the landlords are getting hungrier. Here's where it gets darker. Because it's not just about losing access to your stuff. It's about something more fundamental, something more insidious. 1949. George Orwell writes a line that everyone quotes, but nobody truly understands until they live through it. He who controls the past controls the future. He who controls the present controls the past. What did he mean? He meant that if you can change what people remember, you can change what they believe. You can change what they fight for. You can change who they are. In 1984, the party constantly rewrites history. Old newspapers are destroyed and reprinted with new information. Photographs are altered. Records are erased. And the people, having no way to verify what actually happened, believe whatever the party tells them. We thought it was fiction, a warning about totalitarian governments. Turns out it was a warning about something much more mundane, much more capitalist, much more already here. When your photos only exist in the cloud, who controls whether they exist at all? When your documents only exist on someone else's server, who decides what's true? When your emails, your messages, your entire digital correspondence lives in a database owned by Google or Microsoft or Apple, who controls your past? They do, and they're already using that power. Let me tell you about a man named James, 54 years old, lives in Ohio, worked for the same company for 23 years, got fired in 2022 for reasons he disputes. He wants to fight it. He has evidence. Emails proving his manager was setting him up. Documents showing the company violated its own policies. All of it stored in his work email account. Except the day they fired him, they cut off his access. Every email he ever sent, every file he ever created, gone. Not deleted, just inaccessible. His lawyer asks for the records. The company says they don't have them. Maybe they don't. Maybe they deleted them. Maybe they're lying. It doesn't matter. James has no way to prove what happened. His past has been erased. Or consider Rachel. She's a writer. Spent 5 years working on a novel. Brilliant. Strange. Uncommercial. The kind of thing no publisher would touch, but that might find readers if she self-publishes. She stores it in Dropbox. All of it. Every draft, every note, every character sketch. Then one day she gets locked out. Dropbox says she violated their terms. They won't say how. They won't show her the violation. They just lock the account. She begs. She pleads. She threatens legal action. Nothing works. 5 years of work. Gone. Not because she did anything wrong, really, but because an algorithm flagged something, or a human moderator made a mistake. Or who knows? It doesn't matter. Her creative life, her art, erased. This is happening everywhere. To everyone. Not dramatically. Not all at once. But slowly, steadily. A photograph here. An email there. A document you need for your taxes. A video of your daughter's first steps. All of it balanced on the edge of a cliff, held in place only by the goodwill of corporations that have no reason to care about you. And the worst part? We're complicit. We chose this. We signed the agreements. We clicked, "I accept," without reading. We traded security for convenience and told ourselves it would be fine, but it's not fine. Let's talk about what's really happening here. Because this isn't just about your photos or your emails. This is about a fundamental transformation in what it means to own something, in what it means to have a past, in what it means to be human. For all of human history, until about 20 years ago, ownership meant possession. If you had something, you owned it. You could hold it. You could hide it. You could pass it to your children. A book was a book. A photograph was a photograph. Land was land. These things existed in the physical world, and the physical world had rules, laws. If someone took your book, that was theft. If someone destroyed your photograph, that was damage. You had recourse. You had rights. The digital world doesn't work that way. In the digital world, ownership is an illusion. You think you own your music collection on Spotify, but you don't. You own a license to access it. You think you own the ebook you bought on Kindle, but you don't. You own permission to read it, permission that can be revoked. You think you own the photos you uploaded to iCloud, but you don't. You own nothing. Apple owns the server. Apple owns the software. Apple owns the terms. You're just a user, a renter, a guest who can be kicked out at any time. This transformation happened so fast we didn't notice. In 1995, if you wanted to listen to music, you bought a CD. In 2005, you bought it on iTunes. In 2015, you streamed it on Spotify. 3 models, 3 different relationships to ownership. And in 20 years, we went from owning things completely to owning them not at all. Why did we let this happen? Because they made it easy. Because streaming is convenient. Because the cloud is always accessible. Because carrying around physical objects feels old-fashioned. Because the future was supposed to be about access, not ownership. About experiences, not possessions. About being unburdened by stuff. And there's something seductive about that vision. The minimalist dream, own less. Live light. Everything you need available at your fingertips, weightless and effortless. It sounds like freedom, but it's the opposite of freedom. It's total dependence. When you own nothing, you control nothing. When you control nothing, you are powerless. Let me take you back one more time. 1956. A man named Frank lives in Detroit. He works in a factory. He's not rich, but he owns things. He owns his house, bought with a VA loan after the war. He owns his car, paid off over 3 years. He owns his furniture, his clothes, his tools. He owns the records he plays on his record player. He owns the books on his shelf. If he loses his job, he still has these things. They're his. They can't be repossessed unless he stops paying for them, and most of them are already paid for. He has security. Not wealth, but security. The security that comes from owning things that can't be taken away. Now come forward. 2025. A man named David lives in Seattle. He makes good money, 6 figures, but he owns almost nothing. He rents his apartment, he leases his car. He streams his music, his movies, his books. His photos are in the cloud. His documents are in the cloud. His entire life is in the cloud. If he loses his job, what does he have? Nothing he can hold, nothing he can sell, nothing permanent. He has access to things as long as he keeps paying. The moment he stops, it all vanishes. He is perpetually one financial disaster away from losing everything. Who is more secure? Frank or David? Frank. Absolutely Frank. Because Frank owns things, and ownership, real ownership, is the only true security. But we've been trained to believe the opposite. We've been trained to believe that ownership is a burden, that possessions weigh us down, that the future belongs to people who travel light. And there's some truth to that. But the people telling us this story, the people selling us this vision, they're not living it. Jeff Bezos owns things. Elon Musk owns things. Bill Gates owns things. They own companies. They own land. They own buildings. They own assets that can't be deleted with the click of a button. The ownership-free future is for us, for the users, for the renters, for the people at the bottom who are told that freedom means owning nothing. It's a lie. Freedom means owning everything you need to survive without permission from anyone else. And we're losing that freedom, fast. So what do we do? How do we fight back against a system that's already entrenched? A system that's already swallowed our photos, our music, our memories, our lives? The answer is simpler than you think, and harder than you want it to be. You start owning things again, physical things, real things, things that exist in the world outside the screen. Buy hard drives, external hard drives. Copy your photos onto them, all of them. Don't trust the cloud. Don't trust any company to keep your memories safe. They won't. They can't. Even if they wanted to, they're one bankruptcy away from vanishing, one hack away from losing everything, one policy change away from locking you out. Take your data back. Store it yourself. in multiple places, on multiple drives, in multiple locations. Yes, it's inconvenient. Yes, it's old-fashioned, but it's yours, completely, permanently, yours. Buy physical books, real books, paper and ink, books that can't be deleted from your device, books that will still exist when Amazon decides your account is suspicious, books you can lend to your friends, books you can pass to your children, books that will outlive you. Buy physical music, vinyl if you're a purist, CDs if you're practical, files if you must, but files you download and store yourself, not streaming, not renting, owning. Build a library, a real library. It will feel excessive at first, all those objects taking up space, but one day, when Spotify raises its prices again or loses the rights to your favorite album, you'll understand. You'll put on a record that you own, that you bought, that you control, and you'll feel something you haven't felt in years. Security. Print your photos. This sounds insane in 2025. Who prints photos? Everyone should. Photos that exist only as data are fragile. They corrupt. They get lost. They get locked behind paywalls, but a printed photo is permanent. Put them in albums, real albums, the kind your grandparents had, the kind that sit on a shelf and gather dust until the day you need to remember something, and then you open them and there it is. Proof, evidence, memory. This isn't about nostalgia. This isn't about being anti-technology. This is about survival. About protecting the parts of your life that matter from a system designed to make them disappear. Because here's the truth they don't want you to know. The truth buried under all the convenience and all the progress and all the promises of the digital future. You are not a customer. You are a product. Your photos, your emails, your documents, your entire digital life, it's all data. And data is valuable. Not to you, to them. To the companies that mine it, analyze it, sell it. They don't make money by keeping your memory safe. They make money by keeping you dependent, by keeping you subscribed, by keeping you locked into their ecosystem. And if you stop being profitable, if your account gets flagged, if their algorithm makes a mistake, you're gone, deleted, erased, not because you did anything wrong, but because you're not worth the trouble. You're just one user among billions, a drop in the ocean, expendable. This is the future we're living in. A future where your past is owned by someone else, where your memories are rented, where your legacy is stored on a server that might not exist in 10 years. Walter, the man with the wooden box full of letters, his legacy survived. Those letters are still in an attic somewhere in Philadelphia, still readable, still real, still his. Sarah, the woman with 12,000 photos locked in Google Photos, her legacy is frozen, inaccessible, dependent on a company that might never respond to her emails. Her granddaughter won't find those photos in an attic. They'll be gone, lost in a digital void, erased. You get to choose which future you live in, the one where you own things, or the one where things own you. Choose carefully, because once your legacy is deleted, once your past is erased, you can't get it back. Not with money, not with lawyers, not with anything. The machine doesn't care. It never did. The only question is, do you?